Hi, friends. Welcome back once again. This is Doug, and tonight I'm going to be doing something just a little bit special, a little bit different than just talking about spirituality. We will be talking spirituality, but we're going to do it in the form of a reading. What I have is I bought these years ago. These are called Osho's Tarot cards. See that? And the tarot cards are very beautiful. Each one has like Osho's signature on them, and they're really cool but they're different from most tarot cards in the sense that it's addressing your spiritual side. um, you can ask specific questions, and it's kind of mystical how when you just pray and you ask God's blessing over the cards, and then you lay out a deck and just play with it and see what happens. So tonight we're going to call we're doing a reading for a girl we're going to call Anna, as anonymous for another person, but we don't want to say anybody's names. So especially kind of like in the beginning of a reading. So anyway, she had a specific question about whether she's going to get closure with her boyfriend or ex-boyfriend, and it seems like he has kind of left her in a way that she has no closure. And so the first question was, is she going to see him again, or is she going to get to be able to talk to him again, because she has things she'd like to say to him. And the diamond reading, this one here, um, gives us a specific question. Is useful for more clarity on a specific issue. So that is a specific issue, and I think the diamond will be a suitable first reading for this young lady named Anna. The first card is the issue. This is the center card. And the second card is the internal influence that you are unable to see. And then the third card is the external influence of which you're not aware. The fourth card is what is needed for resolution. And the fifth card is the resolution, the understanding. So, yeah, I've already laid out the cards and did the reading basically, and marked the pages because I don't have all the information memorized. It's a lot of information to maybe memorize. If I did this every single day, I would definitely have a lot more memorized. But we'll give the diamond reading and see how this goes for Anna. Okay, so the first card we pulled, the number one card, which is the middle card, came up as totality. You guys see that? And it's three women um, doing trapezes um, in the air on a trapeze, and it is the um, five of fire. So it's a fire card, and this is a hot issue. So I guess that kind of relates to this being a fire card. So anyway, Osho has a description of what these cards kind of mean, and I'll read it briefly. So totality. Um, let's see if I can find it. There's courage. Hold on. Here's totality. So the book says, I'll get a little closer to the mic so we can hear this a little better. The book says, every moment there is a possibility to be total. Whatsoever you are doing, absorbed in it be absorbed in it so utterly that the mind thinks nothing. It is just there. It is just a presence. And more totality will be coming, and the taste of totality will make you more and more capable of being total. And try to see when you are not total. Those are the moments which have to be dropped slowly, slowly. Then when you are not total, whenever you are in the head, thinking, brooding, calculating, cunning, clever, you're not total. So slowly, slowly slip out of these moments. It is just an old habit, and habits die hard. But they die certainly if one persists. They die. So that's what Osho said about totality. Um, there's an essence of being playful and free, yet alert and interdependent. Um, like in a trapeze act, nobody can afford to be a little bit absent, even for a split second. And it is this quality of total attentiveness to the moment at hand that is represented here. So we may feel there are too many things to do at once, but get bogged down in trying to do a little bit here and a little bit there instead of taking one task at a time and getting on with it. Or perhaps we think the task is too boring because we're forgotten what it's not what you do, but how you do it that matters. Developing the knack of being total and responding to whatever comes as it comes is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. Taking one step through life at a time, giving each step of your complete attention and energy can bring you wondrous new vitality and creativity to all that you do. So that's pretty powerful. I guess what my take of that, or what I kind of feed off that, is that maybe this relationship wasn't a total relationship in the fact that all four bodies seem to be satisfied, where you have the physical, the emotional, the intellectual, and then the spiritual. That may not be anybody's fault. These people I'm giving this reading for could be very young, so they still have time to grow into these bodies that we talk about and this action. So that's card number one. That's the issue. Okay. So then card number two is the internal influence that you are unable to see. And her card that came up was courage. And it's a little flower trying to bud through the ground there. And that is the 8 of water, I think it is. So let's see. For now, I think it's, here it is, courage. Okay. Isn't this fun? So courage, let's read what Osho's got to say here. It says, the seed cannot know what is going to happen. The seed has never known the flower. And the seed cannot believe that he has the potentiality to become a beautiful flower. Long is the journey, and it is always safer not to go on that journey because unknown is the path. Nothing is guaranteed. Nothing can be guaranteed. Thousands and one are the hazards of any journey. Many are the pitfalls, and the seed is secure, hidden inside a hard core. But the seed tries, it makes an effort. It drops the hard shell, which is its security, and starts moving. Immediately, the fight starts, the struggle with the soil, with the stones, with the rocks. The seed was very hard, and the sprout will be very, very soft, and dangers will be many. So there was no danger for the seed. The seed could have survived for millennia. But for the sprout, many are the dangers. But the sprout starts towards the unknown, towards towards the sun, towards the source of light, not knowing where, not knowing why. Great is the cross to be carried, but a dream possesses the seed, and the seed moves. The same is the path for man. It is arduous. Much courage will be needed. And you can say for woman too, because that's when they say man, it's referring to mankind and womankind. So I'll read this also. Let's see what this says here. The commentary says, this card shows a small wildflower that has met the challenge of the rocks and stones in its path to emerge into the light of day. Surrounded by an aura of bright golden light, it exposes the majesty of the tiny self. Unashamed, it is equal to the brightest sun. When we are faced with a very difficult situation, we have a choice. We can either be resentful and try to find somebody or something to blame for the hardships, or we can face the challenge and grow. The flower shows us the way. It is the passion for life. It leads it out of the darkness and into the light. There is no pointing finger against the challenges of life or trying to avoid or deny them. They are there. And if the seed is to become the flower, we must go through them. Be courageous enough to grow into the flower that you are meant to be. And I think I've shared with this young lady that we go through life and relationships, and when a relationship ends, it's hard, and it's very sad, and it's like the closure of a really good book. And you're putting yourself through a sort of fire, um, a sort of heat, and dealing with grief and dealing with sadness puts us through the fire, and all the impurities get burned out, and what's left is the gold. Okay, so I'm not saying yes she should try to do anything with the relationship at this point, but I am saying, like they said here, that when we are faced with very difficult situation, we have a choice, and we can either be resentful and try to find somebody or something to blame for the hardships, or we can face the challenges and grow. That's pretty powerful. Okay, so that was the second card, and then the third card is the external influence of which you are aware, and she drew ordinariness. Okay, so let's see what the book says about that. So, sometimes you might see that card and go, "Oh wow, that's not good," but bear with us. Listen to what the book says first for ordinariness. Let's see. Okay, here it is. So, okay, let me take a sip. And I sure hope the microphone and everything's working, because this is be horrible if I did this without the microphone. We got the light on, we got everything checked. I think we're good to go. So anyway, ordinariness. So it happens that you become one in some rare moment. Watch the ocean and the tremendous wildness of it, and suddenly you forget your spit, your split. Excuse me, your schizophrenia. You relax, or moving in the Himalayas, seeing the virgin snow on the Himalayan peaks. Suddenly, a coolness surrounds you, and you need not be false, because there are no other human beings to be false to. You fall together, or listening to the beautiful music, you fall together. Whenever and whatsoever the situation, you become one. A peace, a happiness, a bliss that surrounds you, arises in you, and you will be fulfilled. So you don't really need this guy to have this fulfillment. There is no need to wait for these moments. These moments can become your natural life. These extraordinary moments can become ordinary moments, and that is the whole effort of Zen. You can live an extraordinary life in a very ordinary life, cutting wood, chopping wood, carrying water from the well. You can be tremendously at ease with yourself, cleaning the floor, cooking the food, washing the clothes. You can be perfectly at ease, because the whole question is of you doing your action totally, enjoying it, delighting in it. I'm gonna read the commentary too, because I think Anna deserves this. This figure walking in nature shows us that beauty can be found in the simple, ordinary things in life. So we easily take this beautiful world we live in for granted. Cleaning the house, tending the garden, cooking a meal. The most mundane tasks take on a sacred quality when they are performed with your total involvement, with love for their own sake, without thought of recognition or reward. You are facing a time now when this easy, natural, and utterly ordinary approach to the situations you encounter will bring far better results than any attempt on your part to be brilliant, clever, or otherwise extraordinary. Forget all about making headlines by inventing the latest widget, or dazzling your friends and colleagues with your unique star quality. The special gift you have to offer now is presented best by just taking things easy and simply one step at a time. So, yeah, that's pretty powerful. Okay, so I have a dear friend of mine I've known for a while, and it's because of him that I'm in the relationship I am with my girlfriend. And he had a part to do with it. Let's just say that. And then he went through a divorce, basically right after I went through a divorce, like a year after I got a divorce. And I told my friend, I said, "Look, man, You don't know what the next chapter is going to bring. I know this is hard, and what you need to do is you need to be total in your um, expression of or letting out a cathartic all the hurt and all the pain and all the bad stuff, and cry till you can't cry anymore. Let it all out. Just get rid of it. Scream, shout, jump up and down, do whatever you got to do, but get it out of you. And as soon as you get all that stuff out of you, then the healing begins. It's very hard to have healing going on when there is so much bothering the plant, the little seed trying to grow, like your card with the courage on it. It has so many obstacles. It's got stones to avoid and soil to break through. It doesn't need you coming in and pulling apart the soil every 5 minutes or every day and checking to see if the seed is still a seed or not. You just have to give it time. You have to allow existence to create this new opportunity for you in your life. Okay, so that was the third card. The fourth card says, "What is needed for the resolution?" And I thought this was an interesting card, and it'd be kind of cool to read it. What was needed for the resolution drew the card projections. That's kind of a cool card. Like, whoa. All right, what do they mean by projections? So we'll look it up. Ordinary projections. I found it because I marked the page. Okay. It's a water card of the minor arcana. And here's what the projections card means, but according to something written by a great master. In a cinema hall, you look at a projection screen. You never look at the back. The projector is at the back. The film is not there really on the screen. It is just a projection, a shadow of light. The film exists just on the back, but you never look at that, and the projector is there. Your mind is at the back of the whole thing, and the mind is the projector. But you always look at the other because the other is the screen. When you're in love with a person that seems beautiful, no comparison. When you hate, the same person seems the ugliest, and you never become aware of how the same person can be the ugliest and the same person can be the most beautiful. So the only way to reach truth is to learn how to be immediate in your own in your vision, how to drop the help of the mind. This agency of the mind is the problem, because mind can create only dreams. Through your excitement, the dream starts looking like reality. And if you are too excited, then you are intoxicated. Then you are not in your senses. Then whatsoever you see is just your projection. And there are as many worlds as there are minds, because every mind lives in his or her own world. Okay. So I'm gonna read the commentary real quick here. It says, whew, the man and woman in this card are facing the other, and yet they are not able to see the other clearly. And I don't know if that might be the situation that you've had with your old boyfriend. Each is projecting an image they have constructed in their minds, covering the real face of the person they are looking at. All of us can get caught up in projecting movies of our own making into the situations and people surrounding us. It happens when we are not fully aware of our own expectations, desires, and judgments. Instead of taking responsibility for them and owning them, we try to attribute them to others. A projection can be devilish or divine, disturbing or comforting, but it is a projection nonetheless. A cloud that prevents us from seeing reality as it is. The only way out is to recognize the game. When you find a judgment arising around another, turn it around. Does what you see in others really belong to you? Is your vision clear, or is it clouded by what you want to see? So it's quite interesting. I read in a book one time that really, what is beauty? I mean, we define beauty by what we've been conditioned to believe by society for the most part. But really, another human being, um, it's easy to break somebody down, but it's also easy to make a projection and think that this is a very beautiful person. And love kind of hate takes away all that would break down anything. When you love someone, you don't break them down. It's you accept them as they are. Um, and that could be something to learn as we grow into future um, relationships and future girlfriends and boyfriends and all that for everybody that's listening. Um, for the most part, like I said, if you look at a human, it's just a sack of blood, pus, spit, and all these gross things. And we project what we believe to be beautiful on them. I mean, I watched something today on YouTube, and I thought that this person that did this singing for these rock and roll songs was just an amazingly beautiful person, and it just she put a smile on my face, right? But how much of that is you know conditioned by society for me to think that she is that beautiful person? Um, and it's I guess it's kind of important in a relationship that we put these projections aside and accept people for who they are. And if if a relationship ends, then we just close the book and we start a new book, start a new chapter. But like I said, you got to cathart it first and get rid of all the bad stuff. Um, in my opinion, it's like you don't keep a dead pet around weeks after it's died and try to keep breathing life into it. If it's dead, it's dead. It's gone, and there's nothing you can do about that. And it's going to hurt because we love our pets. We love our little animals. And I know soon my pet's getting very old, and it's going to be a day where I'm going to have to deal with that. Until that day, I cherish every moment I can with my pet. But if something dies, you can't keep trying to breathe life into it. It's sickening to think you can do that. So sometimes we just have to let it go. That doesn't mean that it won't come back to us in some other form or some other way. But you're not trusting existence, and you're not giving existence a chance to maybe give you something better. And that's what I was saying about my friend who did a lot for me. I was telling him, look, you don't know what God's got in store for you. It's way better than what you had, what you were in, because you weren't happy in your relationship that lasted 20 something years. Uh, you were very unhappy, and I could see it, but I didn't want to come out and just say that to you. But I can say to you now that look, you've got something to look forward to. Existence has got so much in store for you, but you got to give it a chance. And by um, going through your totality and having courage and um, facing what is ordinary and what is spectacular. I mean, everything really in the basic sense is spectacular, but we have to learn from that. Okay, so the last card is the resolution, the understanding. Now, I did this reading twice so far. I did a practice reading before I did this, and I drew the source card twice after shuffling the cards up very seriously. So, Anna, this source card really wants to tell you something. So pay close attention, okay? And I'll find it, okay? Let's see. Let's see. Projection. The source. Got it. Okay. Let me take a sip. Oh dear. Dripped in my book. Okay, so here we go. Zen asks you to come out of the head and go to the basic source. It is not that Zen is not aware of the uses of energy in the head, but if all the energy is used in the head, you will never become aware of your eternity. You'll never know as an experience what it is to be one with the whole. When the energy is just at the center, pulsating, when it is not moving anywhere, neither in the head nor in the heart, but it is at the very source from where the heart takes it. The head takes it pulsating at the very source, and that is the very meaning of Zazen. Zazen means just sitting at the very source, not moving anywhere. A tremendous force arises, a transformation of energy into light and love, into greater life, into compassion, into creativity. It can take many forms, but first you have to learn how to be it at the source. When the source will then the source will decide where your potential is, and you can relax at the source, and it will take you to your very potential. Then the commentary says, I spilt water in here. When we speak of being grounded or centered, it is this source that we are talking about. When we begin a creative project, it is in this source that we tune into. This card reminds us that there is a vast reservoir of energy available to us, and that we tap into it not by thinking and planning, but by getting grounded and centered and silent enough to be in contact with the source. It is within each of us, like a personal individual sun, giving us life and nourishment, pure energy pulsating available. It is ready to give us anything we need to accomplish something, and ready to become or welcome us back home when we want to rest. So whether you are beginning something new and need inspiration right now, or you've just finished something and want to rest, go to the source. It is always waiting for you. And don't even have to step out of your own house to find it. It says you don't even have to step out of your own house to find it. That's pretty beautiful. I think it's kind of interesting how uh, they're saying, so whether you're beginning something new or and need inspiration right now, or you just finished something. So Anna has just finished a relationship, or her boyfriend feels that maybe at this point they finished their relationship, um, but now's the time to go to the source, and it's always waiting for you, and you don't even have to take a step out of your own house to find it, because you are the source. You just have to get in touch with it. My friends, that is the reading out of that for what Osha said about Anna's first question. We'll attack another question another night. It takes, like I said, it takes a while. It takes a lot of energy to um, come forth and express something spiritual of the beyond in the form of cards. The cards are just a tool. It's not good or evil. It's beyond duality, and it gives us insight into how to grow and what are our next steps to take in life. It can guide us and give us courage, as Honest Courage card came up. Uh, Life can be hard, especially when you're young. Um, when you're really young, relationships are everything. Uh, your relationship with a boyfriend or girlfriend really is just an expression of godliness reaching out and being shared with another person. So when that ends, it's very sad. Excuse me. And, it can be extremely hard to deal with. I remember when my first love broke up with me many, many, many years ago when I was in the military. Um, it was one of the saddest days of my life. I mean, but I think I got a little bit of closure, but um, is your first love. So you may always have this feeling that love never dies. The first love never dies, they say. And maybe this was Anna's first love. I don't know. It could be because it's so hard to admit that it's over or let it go. But existence has so much more for you because there's other things that can come your way. There's a soulmate relationship that you could come to. It's rare, it can happen, but if you concentrate on the source and just being you, and being not trying to be extraordinary, but just try to be authentically yourself, because we're all made different. We're all uh, different creatures, and we're all different um, intelligences, and emotion wise we're all a little bit different, and it makes up a good combination. And when you can match all these things, they have the seven chakras, and a soulmate will match the seven chakras with what's going on in your life. um, then there's twin flames, then there's so much out there that, that on the spiritual side. And then also, I mean, not every love is going to be, hot and fiery and passionate. Sometimes the love is cooler. um, After the honeymoon dies out in a relationship, after people uh, fizzle down to a less hot love, if you can keep it at a cool level, it lasts a lot longer. It can last for 20, 30, 40, 70, 100 years. But there's dangers with keeping it cool, because you can't let it get too cold, because cold is going to kill and die the relationship. And too hot can only be tolerated or enjoyed for so long. Then you start desiring other things in a relationship. You desire a different type of companionship. It all depends on um, your likes and needs and wants, and your partner's likes, needs, and wants. They may think that your relationship was great, but then they meet somebody else who seems all alluring and maybe a better fit. I don't know, um, but that doesn't mean that down the road, uh, this person that you still love, your first love, if that's what it is or whatever, that they won't come back to you. But then you got to ask yourself, when they come back, is this person worthy to have me? I mean, not that you're extra special, because remember we drew the ordinariness card. It's just that you've been practicing being total, like your first card. Um, and that is the main issue, is that you need to learn to be total. And totality means basically doing everything 100% in the present moment, and not looking into the future, not having these projections of what we think the other person is and what makes them so beautiful. Um, just being total into yourself and unto yourself, whatever you're doing. Like they said, whether you're just cleaning the house, or making your bed, or driving your car, your motorcycle, your bicycle, whatever you have, and doing it totally and being in the present moment. I had an interesting thought the other day as I was driving home from work. The waves were up, and I'm a surfer, so I get excited when there's waves, and I get a little bit in a hurry to get home. So I press the gas pedal just a little bit harder to get me home, so I can go enjoy those waves before it gets dark. And I just thought to myself, that's wrong. Enjoy the drive home, because this is the only moment we have. This is the only moment that we get to share with existence, is the present moment. So we might as well try to be pleasant and be total in that moment. Because like I said, 1% of you can be pulled into the future by desire, and then you're missing the present moment, right? So don't let that 1% control and dictate your life. Be total 100% in whatever you're doing in this present moment, and remember that the source is there, and that you are connected to this source, and that will give you your courage, that will give you your drive and your energy to face life and move forward from here. Okay, Anna, thank you for giving me the chance to give you this reading. I hope you enjoyed it. um, I'll see if you respond to this one before I move to another question. So I did not charge for this. I did this out of the goodness of existence, because I felt that Anna needed closure, and she needed to learn how she's going to get past all this. All right, y'all take care of yourselves. Much love. Aloha and blue skies.